Hi, welcome to Noise in the Gallery, an inspirational podcast. My name is Joy Nkoyo and I'm a musician from London. For this podcast, I want to take a dive into the minds of some of the most fascinating, innovative musicians I know. We'll be discussing their influences, their journey into music and creative process, and I'm hoping to pick up some new ideas along the way. If you want to get inspired with me, stick around.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. I still haven't done my ultimate Alice in Wonderland tribute yet. I know, yeah, everyone does it at some point. Yes, and I'm going to do it too at some point. I don't know, that book, I really did love that book. It is that, like, going into another world and learning about yourself or learning about things in a completely different way that you'd never thought about. Turning everything on its head to see the truth or the falsity of things or the illusions of things. That's what it was for me. It was like going through the looking glass. Like, yeah. I guess I'm always trying to not be convinced so easily or not be swayed so easily, or like, why do I feel this sudden anger or this sudden thing? Like, that's not coming from me. Why do I feel this way? Have I internalized ideas about what I'm able to do? Or can I not do? What is it? Is it that I can't do it? Or is it that I haven't tried?
So there's definitely an element of defiance as well in that.
Yeah, maybe. It's like, I'm going to have violins in this.
Don't tell me I can't do that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. I wanted it to be big. And I was like, why do I have to make everything small? Why is that a thing that we have to do, you know?
Thank you very much for being here. You're genuinely one of the most fascinating artists I've ever met. I'm going to read a little bit from your Spotify bio, because I think that just captured what you're about, what you do, way better than I could. So I'm just going to read snippets. Ever-shifting environments, constantly revolving juxtapositions of experience are reoccurring themes of Chisara Agor's art. Their work spans the music, theatre and art world, shifting between a seamless melting pot of sounds, self-expressions and storytelling. Chisara's interdisciplinary practice is informed by performance training and philosophical practice. This is manifested through various works and commissions that showcase Agor's evolving career and creative palette, which include composing, producing, writing, designing, making costumes and clothes. There's just so much you do. It's insane.
It gets a bit, when you're writing lists, it's like, okay, it feels like someone's going, all right.
What else can you do? Right. Yeah, we get it, you're really talented. There's something about you that's like an amalgamation of a lot of things, and I think it's quite hard to pinpoint. So I would quite like to unpick some of those things, those influences, your process and stuff like that. You do a lot, and your music, a review here says a blend of folk, soul, pop and jazz, which I think is almost reductive, because yes, I can hear those things in it, but there's just so much more going on there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But people have to say something,
right?
They
got to say something, right? They got to say some words and point at some genres. And yeah, because it's one of those things, I think I was reading something that some people kind of get drawn to quotes quite easily, and they need something like, okay, this is what it is. And I just thought, especially on a Spotify page, they're going to listen to it anyway. So regardless of what someone says it might be, that people make their own judgment of what it is, right?
Their own interpretation.
Yeah. So they pull out. And I think that quote was, I think that was like an old one. I think that was a reference to, I think that might have been a reference to like 2015, 2018 music, actually.
Pre-Spotify, Chisara era.
Yeah, I think that was like, I think I submitted to like a soul blog or something. Like an
there
American
was one track
thing
that was on like a Spanish album.
Yeah, so that was that's
that era. Okay.
That's the Soul Spain. It was like a number one on there. One of the tracks was number one on. It was a journey. Oh my word.
Okay, we'll talk about your Spanish era, because that's one thing I did find. But I'm so here for it. Okay, let's talk about your EP. Okay, In Between. Why don't we delve into like each song? Did those songs, were they written around the time it came out in 2019, or does that journey way back before that point? Should I tell you the song?
Yes, please.
So you got, that's okay, it's fine. Begin, Anything, Seasons, Dream State.
Okay, so Seasons was one of the first songs I ever wrote on ukulele. Can you hear me knocking on your door? Can you feel me wanting something more than this? And that was...
It's just mad.
That was... that was like the London version, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was like, okay, I want to do the song again, but like, how do I... And I worked with the producer on that to kind of think of like a cool way of doing it with like some beats or something. You know, that was a version of...
So
but
what was the original?
I still haven't done my version of it in the way of me. I actually haven't produced that song. And
so
I realised recently there might be a third. Just keep rolling it out. Actually, I hadn't played it in ages, and I recently played it at a little gig thing. And because a friend of mine who was running it that was his favourite song, and I've known him since starting to perform. And I played it, and I was like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, I should play this again, and maybe I'll
rework
do
it
another.
in some way.
Do another kind of version. But yeah, Seasons was that old. Begin was also, I was playing it in Spain, so that would be 2015, 2016 era songs.
I think that has like a spoken word element at the beginning, right? In the intro.
Mm-hmm. So we can break the chains mentally. Las cadenas de control impossibly binding us to our couches, viewing our dystopian fantasy. Somebody take this pen.
Was that always there?
That was always there, and then it comes back again, and there's like a melody in between. It's very when I first started playing it, I think people were confused. Not everyone, but like especially playing it in Madrid, where I didn't know about their spoken, because obviously in London,
you've got Kate Tempest,
you've got blah blah blah. Yeah. It's kind of like there's a language
here.
there, yeah. But there wasn't really, and also I was doing it in English, so and speaking quite quickly. But I think people really did like the song. I never stopped playing it. But yeah, it's unusual in the way that it goes between, and that's another one I still haven't. I'd like to do again, because I can, when I listen back to it in that vein, I can hear my age. I don't know, maybe not my age necessarily, but my experience, or my hesitation, or like, why did I use that sound?
When you say something in the style of someone else, or like what you think you're supposed to sound like, but it's not raw. Like, is that what you mean?
I don't know. I think it's like more. I can see you didn't quite reach. The intention is there, but you didn't quite reach what you wanted. Not that it wasn't. It was like nearly there. It was nearly like you just needed to wait maybe a few more months, sit with it, and then get to the point. I can see what your sketch. It was like a sketch. Yeah, it felt more like a sketch. It needed more refining, but that's okay.
That's part of the process. Part of it.
And you're like, oh, but you know when you listen to that, you're like, wow. When I think about what I could do now, it's crazy. The time, you know, you learn so much, and then. Dream State was one I actually arranged and did everything for that thing. So I think that was more recent. That would have been more recent. Wake me up when the world is over. Wake me up when the world ain't cold anymore. And then what was the other one? Anything was...
I love that.
When did I write that? I can't remember when I wrote that song. Yes, you run, you'll have to leave your past behind. Yes, you'll die, you'll have to 100,000 times. Do you believe that everything and anything can happen? Do you believe that everything and anything can happen? Do you believe? Yeah, and that was really cool. But I didn't. There was this concept there, but it wasn't. It was more. It was looser. I think. I feel it was like, what songs do I really love and want to kind of put together and thing. And also, it was very. It would have been my first just learning how all the kind of campaign stuff works, learning how all the kind of like
business side.
And I got tired easily, and I was just like so it was a lot of learning things.
Yeah, it's cool to delve into that, because I just think you see the end result a lot of artists, and you think they kind of just pop out of nowhere.
Right. No.
Like little aliens that just, and actually there's a whole lot of work that goes into it before you get to that point where you're ready to deal with that. It's funny because you say that this EP didn't feel so put together in an intentional sense. It's more like, I'm just going to put these songs that I like for some reason, and maybe, figuring it out as you go. But listening to it, you definitely, I definitely felt like there's an identity.
No, that's true. No, I feel like I was maybe being too harsh on myself. Yeah, definitely the intention to put those songs together was there. But maybe I'm referring to like the cohesive plan of, it was a lot of like, okay, I'm going to work with this person, this thing, work with this person, and this thing, and then money here, money there. But like, maybe I'm talking about more the business kind of plan of like, how am I going to then talk about it or put it out in a way that people understand what it is? Because I know what it is, but maybe I didn't.
Well, if it's the first time you're doing that, it's a complete unknown. You're sort of just feeling your way around. Okay, that's really interesting. I think you cover a lot of really deep...
You put it for anyone listening. There were quotation marks used.
Deep. I hate the word deep. Universal topics. I think your songs they're big. Is that intentional with you? Because I feel like you don't necessarily cover topics of like, oh, I'm in my room and I'm feeling like this and it's all about me. It's like there's a big message about transcending or delving deeper into the reasons why we're here. What are you doing? Look deeper, rediscover. Like it's not surface level.
I think that's definitely intentional. I mean, I think it's a lot of the ways, and I think both things are valid. It's like someone writing about being in their room, and is their way of trying to understand why they're in their room feeling the way they feel, right? And I guess I'm trying to figure out, or maybe my lack of power to necessarily go out and like change in a kind of Miss Universe, I want world peace type thing. How do I like grapple with those ideas myself? And I try not to be like very what's the word? Like black and white about it. Nothing is this side, that side. I guess I'm just on a constant journey of discovery.
It's like you're above kind of
floating.
But like, you're observing things, and that's quite different, I think, to a lot of people. Not that one is more valid than the other. I think there's a case for kind of sitting and being in your own experience, and then from that people kind of draw out from that. But then it's also really fascinating to kind of draw a bigger picture from above and kind of taking little bits of what you see, and I really like that about your music.
Thank you.
Cool. So let's talk about the sonics of the tracks. Okay, so ukulele, that's like a big thing on all of them, and I cannot stand the ukulele except when I'm listening to your music, and I mean that 100%. Like, I hate it. But you make it sound so good.
I didn't know about the ukulele hate until later on, because what happened was I was trying to teach myself guitar at, well, how old was I, like 17, 18. So I was trying to teach myself guitar because I wanted to write some songs, and what was I trying to write? Like, I was trying to write sad poetic songs about, listening to what Jeff Buckley crying about something, and then you had like, I was just trying to write songs that I thought were like, exactly. Like, and then when I was gonna go to Spain, because it was just Erasmus, it was like a year abroad thing, and I couldn't bring it with me. And so my friend got me this little toy ukulele. He was like, because I know you can't. He said, you can't bring your guitar, so take this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just played it every day. And then So if I got there maybe August or something, or September or something, then like a few months later, after I had a few songs I'd written, I was like, oh, why don't you just go to this open mic? There was like an open mic in this Irish pub in Madrid. In Manassan. Yeah,
this is crazy.
Irish pub. And I played there, and then I got my first gig in another little cafe place supporting someone. And that night, I met one of my closest friends there, Christian, and he was playing the cajon. He's like a percussionist, and he was like, okay, why don't we play together? I can support you. We can thing. And we went into this park outside his house and practiced, and it all just kind of rolled. And the story goes on and gets really funny and interesting and crazy all in over a year and more, and because I went back and forth after that. But
I didn't know it was Erasmus, so it was a 1 year thing.
It was a 1 year thing, and then I was just like thinking about moving there because I kept going there like many times a year to play gigs and like do stuff. So but that was my first entry into kind of
music scene?
Playing a music scene. And it wasn't the scene that you would think, well, being where I live in Peckham, I didn't know that scene at all, because I was studying not in London, and then to be in another scene completely different from where you're from and know everyone and kind of be, it's very it's funny because there's no reference, there's no one I can go, do you remember that time, because they're not here, or do you know what I mean? So I was in that scene.
Did it feel like a fresh start in some way, like a blank slate, meeting lots of new people at that critical age? I guess. Yeah. How old would you have been? Like 20?
I would have 19? Been 20 something, maybe like 21, 22 something. It felt, because again, I hadn't been. No, I think I'm misremembering some things. Wait,
it happens.
I can't remember now. I think I was playing at uni in open mics. Yes, I started a society for the rejects who didn't get into the theatre society, because it was like being in a high school film that people were mean and very protective of their clique. And there was a drama course on the uni, and I wanted to go to drama school when I was younger, but then fell in love with philosophy and languages and music and everything. And I was like, okay, well, I'll study philosophy and languages because I love those things, and then I'll do art and stuff while I'm there. And I remember auditioning for their pantomime, and I just wanted to be in the show some way, even if I was, a tree or whatever.
That was me. I was a bodyguard. No lines. Anyway, I'm not going to get salty about that.
You want to tell us about that experience? And the audition went really well, and they were like, yeah, we're definitely going to put you in for sure. And I was like, wicked, I'm in. And basically they didn't, I got the results of the audition, and they're like, unfortunately, you're not going to be in it. And I was shocked because everyone was telling me, yes, see you next week. But I think the worst thing was, aside from that, because I was like, okay, rejection, I've been there, done that many times, they would refuse to give me eye contact. So I used to see them at the uni in the square, and they would not look at me in the eye or say hello. And so I thought something that was very strange. And so it turned out that they had to put in people who were on the drama course in the pantomime just because. And I guess they were ashamed of that and then refused to look me in the eye. So when I went back to my halls, I had the guitar. I remember that. So I was playing and writing on the guitar, and I sang this song called "They Don't Want Me in the Pantomime" over and over again to my housemates, telling them, making them crazy. But I had made up this whole song about not going in the pantomime. So I took it really well.
Making lemonade.
Yeah, exactly. So I was playing, but I wasn't doing like gigs per se. I wasn't doing I was doing open mics and I'm making that group with people who just wanted to express themselves in any way. That was my intention with it, really. And we had a little group of misfits who just kind of got together. And
what were you doing? Like musical theatre, singing, dancing?
Musical theatre singer. There was we had made a little band kind of thing. We did some covers. There was someone else who did classical guitar and just used to play classical. Telling you, everybody was just hanging out and just went to open mics and they did the bits we practiced or whatever. It was very, very wholesome.
That's so cool.
Very wholesome.
That's so lovely, though. Yeah, to have that space to just have fun with it, explore, not be judged so much.
No, it wasn't. not like that at all. So, and then, yeah, unfortunately, that was the year before I was going away. And so we'd got these groups of people together, and then I started going to house parties and things, and people were like, oh, you made that society with the people doing stuff. And I was like, yeah, you should join. But obviously I was leaving. So it was unfortunate that I'd started it and, you know, built it up to something that people were like, oh, I'd like to. And then obviously being away, there was no one really
to take over,
to do that. Yeah, so it all kind of went away.
But
it existed, and it was great for what it was at the time, which is nice.
That's so interesting. Okay.
I forgot your initial question. I kind of went
No, it's fine. We've been on a whole journey here. And I'm here for it. I think we were leading to the ukulele and your beginnings of writing those songs in Spain.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about finding your sound, because you know, you're playing these songs live on your ukulele, but then there comes a point where you start recording the music. How involved were you in like the production at that point?
In the in-between one? Or
because obviously now you're like producing your stuff, you're arranging, or you're doing a lot. So was that like an organic journey, or from then were you sort of happy to do that?
It was a journey. So for example, Seasons 2015, that was like the first thing. That was in Spain, busking around Madrid to save up the euros to go into a friend's studio at a discounted rate, where we just played the songs. And a group of guys, we just played the songs live and recorded it with a few extra, I don't know, some echo or delay or whatever. But it was very much like a band playing the songs and I'm playing a piece, which was fine. And then after that, I was thinking, okay, I want to record more. I want to do another EP. And I was going to work with another producer who was in Spain. And that didn't go so well because he had like a specific sound that he wanted. He was turning the songs into unrecognizable things for me. Yeah. You know. He was on his own path. Trajectory. Yeah. And I was just there for the ride. Like, and unfortunately, I paid money to do that and then didn't use the songs. But that was a very good learning thing about, okay, so when that happens, what are you going to do about it? Like, because I was like very patient in terms of seeing, okay, if you think this is really good, let's see how it goes. And unfortunately, it didn't go where I wanted it to go. But sometimes you don't realise at the time. I'm so bad at that. You know, in the moment when you're working with other people, it's like keeping in touch with your own vision of what you think you're going for, but at the same time being like open enough that something can happen that's not expected. Totally. I think that's such a hard... Right? But then if you're not surprised and disappointed, I don't know, it was close together. Very. And also I think it's like knowing who you are, right? I don't think I really knew what I wanted to what I wanted things to sound around the songs. I was very much just doing live and I knew how that sounded. So even if it was just me and the uke or me and whatever playing the song, I would have been happy with it. But I think when you start putting stuff around it and turning it, I didn't know what that was meant to sound like. And I hadn't gotten to that point yet. And I think that was because people were putting things on me. Whereas I wasn't standing up and saying, I'm a soul singer. I wasn't saying anything, actually. But then people were like, you're doing soul, you're doing this. And you're like, maybe I am, I don't know. But I hadn't decided what it was yet. And so I was very open to where it could go. Especially writing songs that maybe lean into certain genre and thinking, oh, it could be like this. But then, it's you want to actually tread that line rather than be like in one box. Yeah, and I find obviously it'd be like great if I at that point knew like I'm this and I want to do this, but I didn't. And so what happens when you don't know? Someone goes, oh, I think you should do this then, and you're like, okay, we'll try it, but it didn't work, which is fine. I feel like the end result that you got, you know, through all of that process, through having those knockbacks, and it's really good. Like, I'm not just saying it. Like, I love it. I think you actually did triumph over those difficulties, and of course now you're looking at it thinking, well, I know so much more who I am and what could I do. But I think
just navigating those things is not easy as an artist. No. Like, hats off to you.
Thanks.
Maybe we could talk a bit about the visuals side of things, because you, I think, directed, was it Anything, the video for that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, what year was that? I can't remember when I started getting more into film. Like, I've always loved photography and taking pictures and things, but I think more so the last 3 years moving into like film as a
medium.
Yeah, as a medium. And a friend of mine like DOP, and I just made a storyboard and thought this could work.
Did you have any particular like references visually, or was it more just coming from the music? You just had this idea and
I think for that one it was. I mean, now I'm a lot more with my things. I'm a lot more. I thought maybe just more like detailed in a certain way. I do a lot of like treatments, or I do a lot of like boards. But that one was very clear in my mind that I didn't want to complicate things, number one. And like, it was very clear, like, I think that will come across fine. The whole idea is that, and it will be fine.
I think it's beautifully simplistic, that video. It just, and the song as well, it's like, that one, you could say it's the most traditional song in terms of like structure and songwriting on that EP, but I think that's kind of the beauty of it. It works. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And that was working with a producer in Peckham, who really like let the song lead us, and we were kind of doing it. We'd like play something together and be like, okay, maybe not this. It was very much a completely different process, and I really enjoyed that day. And I think it was the best thing. I wouldn't like, when I think of that song, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's how I would make it. Yeah.
Really. And then Dream State, I kind of like co-produced that. Really, I did a lot of it. Yeah, and I remember that, and I did all the arrangement, and I think maybe because when I got back to university after Spain, I started doing more production anyway, and I did this again on Bandcamp. It's still up, some like weird mixtape thing that was very like, wow, like noises, all sorts of stuff. But I loved it because it was not very good, or good, I put quotation marks. I don't know, no one says, remember that chuckle? No one mentions it, which is fine. But it was like getting a crayon and like scribbling all over, and just seeing, what if I did this weird noise, or what if I made that, it was so good to just, and I put it out as like, this is a thing. It was so good to do that and not feel like, it's not mixed well, or da 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 da. Now that we know everything, or kind of whatever, we're like, it's not mixed. Right then, I was like,
when you know nothing, you're just free.
Flashing red, just put that on, hear that distortion in there. It was great.
That's so cool.
Because it just felt like I was making a world. I was world building rather than worrying about whatever.
Yes, that's so important. I think if you can capture the imagination, it doesn't really matter what tools you use. You're doing that even more so, I think, incorporating all those different elements to build a world. Do you even see yourself as a recording artist? Like, would you say you're just an artist?
I like to say I'm just an artist, because, I see, it's like seeing something like a web, like there's a song, especially with In Between. Let's say like that theme has run, like I've been thinking about that for years, like even back at university, I've been thinking about like a cut. If you cut into a paper and there's this gap, what is that? And how does that translate into other things? What is that? And I've been thinking about that for so long. I think, especially when you talk about like universal topics and stuff, things can stretch over so long that you turn around and you're like, that was about that as well. I didn't even know that film was about that, or that thing was about that in a broad sense.
Because there are endless ways to explore those topics, those big themes that come up in your music. But that's also really cool because you're never going to get bored. and it creates that line that you can trace back through all of your work, and that sort of is quite defining, but in a nice way. You're not boxed in, but I love the video for Seasons, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
that one is
shout out to
just
Kieran.
epic. It's like, yeah, Seasons is interesting because I feel like it's kind of got two concepts at the same time.
Yeah, that was fun.
What were your influences, like, visually
In that video?
Because I was getting Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I
was
love
getting...
bloody. I told you though. I think I told you
I don't
about Alice in
remember.
Wonderland. Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. I still haven't done my ultimate Alice in Wonderland
Let's go.
tribute yet. I
Let's go.
haven't done that yet. That's like in the dream. Like that still haven't got that quite.
Queen of Hearts. I'm seeing it now.
I know, yeah, everyone does it at some point. Yes, and I'm gonna do it too at some point. It was such an important. I don't know that book. I really did love that book. I think referring to the bio, I think the that you read, it is that like going into another world and learning about yourself or learning about things in a completely different way that you'd never thought about, turning everything on its head to see the truth or the falsity of things or the illusions of things. That's what it was for me. It was like go through the looking glass, like, yeah. And so I guess I'm always trying to not be convinced so easily or not be swayed so easily, or like, why do I feel this sudden anger or this sudden thing? Like, that's not coming from me. Why do I feel this way?
Like really digging into it.
Totally. And I'm definitely been leaning more into that in my other work as well, in terms of, I guess, more in like film or art. Well, collectively, essentially.
Like,
yeah.
I wanted to ask about your commissions. Like, maybe you could go into a couple of your favourite commissions you've done, or something.
Okay.
That's maybe pushed you in some way, challenged you. I know you've done loads. Like.
No, I don't think I've done that much. Let me think. I think one of my there's one that's small and one that's still on. Well, I like to think that they're all ongoing, because I feel like there's so, like you said, we were talking about earlier about things. There's just so much more to say. There's so much more to kind of stretch out. But one of the ones I really liked was an audio piece about dreams. So it's called What We Do in Dreams. And I had this idea of asking people about a dream that kind of not changed their lives, kind of shift their relationship to themselves or just to the world or whatever. Kind of, it had made an impression on them. And I interviewed a few people about it and put music around it. It reflected what they were saying in music and sound, and kind of creating an environment for their voices to sit in. But it was nice just hearing people and kind of talk about the experiences they've had in dreams, and how it affected them. And I'd really like to do another one of those, because it was obviously just one. It was like about 12 minutes long. I think I interviewed 4 people, including my mum, actually. Actually, you should listen to it.
Yeah, where can I find it? Because I haven't seen that.
Wait, where can you find it? No, I signed something, because it was the BBC and the ICA. It was like a commission, and I had to sign something. Hold on. I couldn't release it yet, but the time might be up now.
Okay, so they had like exclusive rights to it for a period of time.
But I'll definitely
send it to me on the slide.
Send you a little link. Yeah, it's fine.
That's
crazy.
Really cool.
But yeah, I realised that, because I didn't talk about it that much, because they had like a little exhibition for it, for everyone, because it was like a whole bunch of new creative exhibitions. But that was really nice. And then most recently, last year, there was the idea is the project's called Nocturnal Sun, and that's right now. This is the crazy big idea that's exciting and will take as long as it takes, I suppose.
Are you seeing it like there are going to be different installments to this project?
Oh yeah. It's definitely an installment type thing. I mean,
was it Britain Arts Pierce to start with?
No, it was Sound of Music. That's what I was going to ask.
How did it start? Okay,
New Voices.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So New Voices is a program where you pitch a project that you want to develop, and why this is like a turning point, blah blah blah, all that kind of thing. And it's a year-long thing. So they provide some money, and you obviously can apply for and support kind of to help you with the development. That you get like a project advisor who kind of is your check-in to kind of help you basically like organize your steps. And so, yeah, it was a big ask for myself. It was basically going, okay, we're going to take music, we're going to take movement, we're going to take art, we're going to take film, we're going to
costume design.
I'm a costume designer now, right? We're going to put it all in, and we're going to shake it around, and we're going to make this hour-long epic, and it's gonna be brilliant.
It just sounds like Stravinsky to me. Like it's yeah. That's cool.
Thank you.
Do you feel like a lot of these skills that you're developing come from just saying yes, like, or just being resourceful? It's like, well, I have this vision, I can make it happen. Yeah, I could. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. That's it. Saying yes and then adapting. For sure. Like,
because not everyone's that resourceful or that like, just I'll do it, I'll try it. But I do think that's a big key to success in life. And by success, I don't mean like making money, like making money. I just mean like just growth, developing as a person, and realizing your potential. I just think what I admire is that you've really pushed that to the max, I think, and you're constantly pushing for that.
Yeah, and some people have said I should take a nap and relax. So
are you always on? Is that the downside?
So the downside of this is that, but I'm trying harder this time round. Last year was a bit like close to the...
Yeah, that's crazy actually. I didn't really think about it, what it must be like to have multiple projects on the go and you're overseeing... They're big projects, they're large scale, and you're overseeing so much.
Yeah.
That's full on.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And impressive and amazing. But yeah, full on.
Full on. Yeah.
But what, like, big questions, like, what drives you? What kind of motivates you in terms of long term? Is it a journey, or do you think, do you have little... like goals for yourself? Or both?
Yeah, a mix of both. I mean, I say stuff to myself. I don't necessarily have... For example, let me think. I go... It's so weird. I go, okay, I really want to do... I think last year or the year before, I was like, releasing music in that way is cool. But I think I really want to do like longer form, like... take a concept, and my music, there's concepts in it, but how do I not maybe do a song? Like, can I write for more instruments, or am I just this, or what is that? Do I miss a skill, or can I just start? Why can't I have strings and things, or do I think I can't do? Have I internalized ideas about what I'm able to do, or can I not do? What is it? Is it that I can't do it, or is it that I haven't tried?
So there's definitely an element of defiance as well in that.
Yeah, maybe. It's like, I'm going to have violins in this.
Don't tell me I can't do that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. And if I need someone's help to do something, then I'm going to find out who it is. But I'm going to do a hanging that's way too big for my bedroom and I can't fit it in there. I'm going to go outside and roll it I do my artwork on the landing of my flat. Because there was no room in the flat to do it, but I wanted it to be big, and I was like, why do I have to make everything small? Why is that a thing that we have to do? I mean, so I think there is a defiance there, but also I think it's understanding or being aware of the privilege of time and place and being in this space, like being able to even consider doing this stuff. And I think that's always there to be like, you got to just give it all you got. Yeah. This is it. You don't know what's going to happen to you. there was something, what was I listening to? Or something that really resonated with me. It's quite morbid, but it was like, you're already dead. And there's the next song I'm releasing actually kind of has this element of it. It's like knowing you're going to die, but instead of a kind of nihilistic, like, nothing matters, it's more, it's the opposite.
Matters?
Yeah, in a way, it's like wanting to shine some sort of light or kind of do what you can in what you've been given. But yeah, I mean, long term, my main overarching goal is sustainability. Not only just like be able to make work and do cool things and imagine, but also like health-wise and everything that kind of combines that, and being able to just, I don't know, yeah, being able to do this for long term. That's the long-term goal. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long term.
Well, this is the thing.
But I don't know. I feel like we're always like, as artists, the long term. But, I think maybe we're always just saying this.
It feels so one day at a time being an artist, right? You literally do one project. Where am I going to find the money? How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But then you look back and you think, well, I've been doing this almost for 10 years and sort of making it work somehow.
I don't think it changes, does it? I feel like it's something we say, but knowingly inherent that.
I think it can. I think it does change, like, to some degree.
Yeah.
But there's always that element of instability.
Yeah.
There's, even we can look at, I don't know, Adele, for example. The more that you have to lose, the more kind of pressure is put on you. And I think it must be really hard knowing that, say, okay, well, I've got this creative vision. I don't know if people are going to back this time.
Yeah.
What if she wants to make a punk album?
Yeah.
I mean, then you're kind of starting again. And there's always that instability of, is it going to sustain? How long is it going to sustain? No one can really know that.
There's no one. Yeah, you can't know.
I mean, she'll probably be all right.
There'll
be enough people.
She'll be right.
There'll be enough people who'll be like, oh, have you heard Adele's punk album?
Yeah.
But like, I think there is always that element, and you kind of get desensitized at whatever level you're at. So at her level, she has certain expectations of what, sustainability looks like. And I just think there is always that element of making art and just, trying to discover something new or push yourself. And that breeds a bit of uncertainty, and trying to exist in that is challenging. But I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It is. That's literally it. We have to do that. So just trying to put what's in my head out there. But also, I guess I feel not like a duty or obligation. I don't know, maybe it is something like that, to observe, or like if I have the time then to say what I see. Even if I see it and then I turn it upside down or whatever, paint it green. Or I felt that for a while, I suppose, even like as a child.
I was going to ask about, growing up and that relationship with the arts and as a young person, because it seems like you're very assured of how important art is and its place in society. And so I think some artists struggle with that certainty. They're kind of like, well, I can't pay my bills, or it's easy to lose sight of actually how important it is and transformative it is. But anyway, growing up, did you know you wanted to do something creative? How did you see yourself growing up?
Aside from thinking I could control the wind, I thought I was like the airbender or something. I just wanted to try everything. I was one of those. I was like, okay, went to primary school. I remember primary school quite clearly. It was like, I'm gonna learn the flute, because they had like 1 or 2 flutes in the whole school. I'm like, okay, flute, right? Gonna be in woodwind band, the brass band. I can't remember why I was in brass band. I wasn't playing any brass instrument. But steel pan.
Oh, that's
band,
awesome.
Choir. I was in the choir.
So was that all like classical music or
I
mixture?
Can't remember, to be honest. I know the steel pan was like dancing ABBA covers and things. I don't. Flute was classical. Yeah, I remember learning that. I had a really good teacher. And I remember they put me forward for this like Southwark Council or something sponsored thing where if there was a student that really showed promise or really was loving an instrument, then they'd get one for free because they couldn't afford to get their own instrument. And I got that. I still have that flute from year 5 or whatever I had, year 4.
Wow.
So yeah, I was just trying everything, and I loved playing with other people. I loved music. I remember doing a Christmas show. I remember this Christmas show, and there was an older child playing the narrator. And I just remember I can feel myself standing there next to this, and the teacher going, okay, well, Chisara's is going to be the narrator too. And the older kid was just upset. She's like, well, we can't have 2, so we'll just split it between you both. And I don't remember being any way about it. I was quite happy to get the chance. That I remember feeling this energy. Like this child, even though you're also a child, is going to take my spot away from me. And I just loved, and so from then, my mom was actually looking for somewhere for me to go and do more dance and stuff, in the area. She was trying to find somewhere local. I think she encouraging me to do all of this stuff too. And one day we got taken from school to go to a musical show at the local theatre Peckham, and we watched it, and I was like, my mouth was open. I was like, what? This is crazy. I want to do this. This is so great, like that. Wow. And after the lights came up, they came out to talk to us, and they're like, so we do classes here, here's a leaflet, you can come and join. And I remember going home like, Mum, look at this. And she had the same leaflet because she had found it. I was like, and so I started going there. Yeah, started going there from when I was 9, and did tap and ballet and drama and all the stuff, and loved it so much. I was although it sounds like I was very extroverted, I was quite shy. Not shy, just very I wasn't like, yeah, look at me. I just loved doing the thing. And I just started to notice that maybe I was good at it because I started being put in places where all the light was on me, or I had this thing though when I was doing theatre. I used to lick my lips all the time. So that was my tell. That's why you could tell I was nervous. I used to lick my lips all the time.
I'm dying.
All the time. My mum would go, can you stop looking at your lips? Are they dry? What's going on? I'm like, no, I didn't notice it. I used to lick them all the time. That was my tell. I'm very scared. I'm going to lick my lips all the time.
I mean, there are worse nervous tics to have.
So. But I mean, no, I didn't think about it. That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So was your mum creative at all?
No, not really. I mean, but my mum and my dad, they really loved arts. And so I'd be around. My dad would sometimes take me to, I remember being taken to, a African dance class for, a few weeks. We would go sporadically to things. Or to some music thing, maybe. There was always art
something
around.
Going on.
Yeah, it was always, but there's always something. My mum actually learnt the flute when she was around similar age as well. And she really liked art and stuff. But her parents were very much academics, do this, don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go get your A-levels.
Go get that,
Yeah.
And so I think, especially now, past years now, she's been doing loads more art and painting and all that stuff, and it's really great.
That's amazing. Do you think that came from you then? In a weird way?
I feel like...
Or has she always kind of been into it but suppressed it? Or?
Yeah, I think it's just when you focus on your child or doing, I think it's having the space to kind of find out what it is you want to do or know that you can. I think a lot of people, especially when they get older, they think, oh, it's too late to do something. It's never it's painting. You can do whatever you want. Or, it's this or that, whatever it is, And I think it's just, I've definitely encouraged it and been... I think maybe me just jumping into the right art forms and be like, I could do this, I could do that, definitely probably rubbed off But yeah, and so when you're kind of, you know, the value of something, you know, it's like, yeah, it's fun, it's great. And you can, even doing homework, I would have these, I was so, now I think about it, I was extra, you know. So I remember there was a primary school thing and you had to do a tornado, talk about how a tornado is formed, right? And my mom was so good though. She was like, okay, how are you going to do this? And I was like, right, I want to draw it out and do step by step. So we got, you know, the flip chart paper, the massive, well, it would have been massive because I was small, but like the massive, like A3, A2 size flip chart.
Yeah.
Drew out the tornado, did everything, each stage of it on a flip chart for homework, right? Okay. So,
wow.
Then it was so good that they made me do it in the assembly and tell everybody, show everyone how a tornado was formed with the flip chart.
You were that kid.
I was that, yeah.
You were that kid.
That's
okay.
When I really think about it, maybe I was, but at the time I thought it was the most, I don't know, it was just like, yeah, this is how a tornado, like, that's normal. Or it was something to do with space and I painted out all the different planets, but then I put Velcro on them so you could move them around on this big blank sheet. And so, yeah, it was just
so nice. I feel like your parents must have been supportive to let you kind of just figure it out and express yourself.
Definitely, and then, you know, and help me with that. Yeah. Because I guess, yeah, it makes learning fun. And you're so many different flexing muscles of like how to make something come off the page, you know. So I definitely think that's obviously, yeah, made its way.
Oh, that just creativity,
yeah,
that, like, full of it.
I did a play on a tape recorder, so I was like, okay, so we've got this task, right? I'm gonna record lines on the tape recorder and then I'll speak and then the tape recorder will play. So my voice will be on the tape recorder, but I'll say something now and then play it and then it will play back and it will all be timed out so that I can perform this piece. Yeah, it was going to be a piece with this tape recorder. This was in secondary school too, fair. And I got to class and I was so excited. I had everything ready and the recorder had been pressed in my bag. So it had been recording over everything that I'd made.
Oh no.
So I had nothing to show for it. And I was like, no, you don't understand. There was going to be a whole thing with the tape recorder.
Oh no.
But, you know, I went to those lengths to do what everyone was going to do. I think everyone was quite grateful. They didn't have to sit through a one-man show with a tape recorder that was definitely not well timed. I can imagine.
Did you have a television at home?
Right, I did, but I actually spent loads of summers at my grandma's house. And in the summer holidays, I didn't get to watch TV at all. So I had to make my own. There you go.
Don't let your kids watch telly because
that's it.
Listen.
And then I made up my own games, created things I had loads of paper. All I had was paper, pens, scissors. And so I spent every day at my grandma's just cutting out shape, trying to invent new ways to be entertained, essentially. I remember. So yeah, there you go.
Look what happens. Look what you could do. Look what your kids can achieve.
Look at that. Yeah.
Don't rob them of their future.
Nothing. You know, I'd make one phone call a day to my mum at work and be like, help, I want to go, I want to leave. That'd be it. And then continue the day. You can't leave.
Art prison.
Art prison. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, that's brilliant. What were you listening to growing up? Has your music taste changed a lot since? Because I feel like I asked Chisara for a list of just her favourite artists and stuff, and basically they're all just epic artists, like huge, you know, influential, game-changing artists. I feel like that's what you like. Bowie, Kate Bush,
yeah,
Fela Kuti, just like people that are like kind of icons. Yeah. They're not all kind of the same genre. It's eclectic, but you've kind of got the cream of the crop of each sort of thing. Yeah. Which I'm similar, actually. It's not that I'm into genres. It's like I'll like one artist from that genre and one. Yeah. Was it always like that?
Oh no. It was of course not. and I think because I was just thinking right now I can go, yeah, these are the core group these are the superheroes of like certain ideas that filter in, right? But I listened to, so I guess, again, Grandma's house, like reggae records be on, or I'd play things in the Grandma's house all the time. And there was what I'm thinking of what I had on CD. I had Miss Dynamite.
Oh, mate.
I had,
wow.
Who else? I had Will Young. That was I would say Will Young. Will Young was good, man.
Yeah.
Will Young, right. I had CDs. I had Lady Gaga's CD. Who else do I have on CD? Oh, I loved Muse.
Oh, me too.
I loved Muse so much.
Yeah. The melodies are just...
Yeah, it was just epic. Again, I think it was more like just, this is like a whole epic song or the whole situation. Who else? And then when you get to school, it's like everyone was listening to... I was listening to like whatever grime song was popular then at the time. And then you had all like the indie bands from the noughties just doing a lot. Yeah, you had all of them.
Yeah.
All of them once. Listening to all of that. So it was just like kind of flowing. And then I'd go to a friend's house and she'd put on MTV, because I never used to watch that. I don't know if we had that channel maybe at home. She used to put it on like, do you know this song? Do you know this song? It was very passive aggressive. No, it wasn't passive. It was just aggressive. Because I didn't know any of the tunes, because I couldn't watch.
MTV.
Yeah, so she would just tell me, do you know this, do this. So I learned a lot about music by being
aggressively
told what's good to listen to at the time. So there's that. And then Destiny's Child on CD. My mum had all of the Destiny's Child, lots of soul music, Omar, like lots of that was there. And then my dad, because my parents were separated, so my dad would have then learn about like Afrobeats and like David Gray, for example. I remember that being like a soundtrack to a lot of just days, and George Michael, and like just I love George Michael. He used to sing Faith all the time in the car. So there's all these like different things, you know.
It's eclectic.
Yeah, I really did. I just love music in what I can find in it and how it makes people feel, you know. And I just love being able to listen to a lot of things and find something in them that I really enjoyed. And I just never really got knowing that. And I'll never be like, oh, no, I don't listen to that. Because, look what I was listening to. Like, people listen to everything, you know?
Yeah, no, you can hear it. You can hear that, like, fusion. So the final few things I wanted to ask you about were your upcoming projects. Anonymous, you've just released. And then, is it Shadows and Searchlights?
Yeah, Shadows and Searchlights is the EP thing.
So a lot's changed, I guess, since your first EP.
Yeah.
You've sort of, in terms of your skills, like developing and what you feel like you're capable of.
Yeah. Doing a lot of like sound pieces and producing them and arranging them, and then somehow thinking that was different from releasing, making my own songs was very strange. And I was like, hold on, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a different format or I guess output.
Yeah.
And so completely being like, I can, like, I'm already doing it. Why am I still that person thinking that I have to do things in a certain work with, you have to get this person to do it and this person, when I've shown myself, I've proven to myself, and that's the only person you need to prove it to, that you can do it, right?
Yeah. So have you been much more involved in the production side of things?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Like, even
do you do demos, like full demos?
Yeah, it's completely all done. And then going and working, I co-produced it with Wilhelm, and essentially it's like sonic sound, how things sound, maybe adding certain production-y elements in certain places, but it all sounds the same, but a step forward towards, I guess, having it at that level, you know, certain things sounding a certain way, and obviously recording musicians to play certain parts.
Because there's certain things you can't, like MIDI on your Logic is never going to quite
it's not going to quite
match
make it. So the next one is coming up, but I actually haven't finished that one yet.
It's exciting though.
Yeah,
I think you've been talking about it though, right, on Instagram, the EP. Have I just kind of made that up?
I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It must be
two more
close.
singles left.
Okay, so you're doing 3 singles before and then the EP.
And then EP, yeah.
Oh, okay. How many tracks is it going to be? 6?
Yes, I don't know.
6 or more?
I think 6 is a good number. I'm trying not to put any pressure on myself because I've worked so hard on those 3, 4. No, wait. 2, 3. Yeah. Anonymous. Why am I thinking? Yes, sorry. Wow, 3 or 4 songs now. That there's this feeling of I need to put more and I need to do more. But those songs need so much work. I need to do this or that. Maybe realizing like what's enough for me, without trying to. Again, it's the pushing, right? I have to push myself so hard to make something because you think, oh, it's not enough or da 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 da. So I'm still figuring out what
finding when it's done.
Sound like. What I want that journey to be like, and whether I just take it easy because I think, the next track and the other ones, a lot of work has gone into it, and I don't think I can physically do that in time to have, like a 7 or 8 track thing. I don't think I could do that without something terrible happening. So I think it's just figuring out. I think I wanted like a live song at the end, and just keep it simple, keep it chill, and be like, this actually, like you said, you only see the result, but it took a lot to do that, and I just have to be like, it did. So revel in that, like enjoy that, and have people realize, and that's what it is. I
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm loving Anonymous so far, and just the whole concept, from what you've told me of the EPs, sounds like another huge concept that you could just explore forever. Do you intend on doing that?
I think so. I started planning the next actual 7-8 track project already before I thought about releasing this, because that one's very narrative led, and I was like, I want to make a world, but another world in a different different thing. And so it does again play on the same thing, but it's a monster, that one. So I'm kind of like,
you've got like a whole multiverse going on.
I've got
Chisara's multiverse.
yes, I do. Yeah.
Well, thank you for inviting us into your multiverse.
You're welcome.
It's been fascinating.
Everything's free.
Yes. No, seriously, it's been great to just talk. Yeah. So best of luck with the release. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for making it all the way through. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode or just any of the discussions we've had on season 1 so far. Please reach out. Let me know if you're enjoying it, any types of topics or artists you'd like to hear us cover on the show. Next time I'm going to be talking to Moni Yim, who is smashing it. She is a DJ, music producer, really, really exciting artist. And we kind of discuss faking it till you make it, how to take steps when you're feeling uncertain. It's just a really, really good one. So I will see you next time for that. Much love.